Jon, how big a deal is this?
Well, this is part of the big deal that is this Apple Developers Conference. I mean, this is one part of a larger story, and what Apple does at these events is it's trying to cater to the various developers that work with Apple. The first part of this basically session has been to talk about the Mac, the new operating system behind the Mac, and then obviously some changes to some of the key products. So in the case of the MacBook Air, hey, let's make it smarter and faster, some new Intel Haswell chips, which Bloomberg had already reported, and then obviously battery life, it's important to everybody. And also, I believe, showcasing or showing off a little bit of the new MacBook Pro. The next part of this story today is about the operating system behind the iPhone and the iPad. Arguably the story that matters more to investors these days, because that's where the big growth has been for the company. And then, what other surprises that Apple have in store? Are they going to announce a streaming music service? Could they potentially tell us about some new products? A lot of people have been skeptical they'll go beyond updates to what they're talking about right now, the MacBook line. If they were, it would raise all sorts of questions about whether Apple indeed has been feeling pressure to unveil some new products because of all the enthusiasm that seems to have been sucked out of the stock price over the last few months. Emily?
And of course, the Mac still makes up a chunk of Apple's bottom line, but really it is the iPhone that makes up the majority of Apple's revenue. How important, Jon, is this iOS update?
I think it's very important, Emily. I think that you think about the adoption, not just of the iPhone, but of the iPad. How many businesses, how many players on Wall Street, banks that are now using the iPad every day. As they get those in their hands and Apple tries to convince more businesses to shift away, for example, from laptops into iPads, that experience, that software experience in saying, hey, this is what we're all about, we think we're better than the Windows experience that a lot of businesses are used to, that's really important in them getting more of the business that has traditionally gone to the likes of Microsoft. And yes, the changes might be subtle in terms of the layout of the phone, but ultimately, if you have a software that excites people, maybe it results in higher sales of phones and tablets in the short term. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Apple feels confident in holding off on any big product announcements for the next few months so that they can get people excited about the software first. Emily?
And Jon, speaking of the pressure that's on Apple, Apple Senior Vice President Phil Schiller, in presenting the demo of the new MacBook Air, concluded by saying, can't innovate anymore, my you-know-what. You can fill in the blank there.